Hello friends, welcome back to our channel Canada Voyage. In this video, I will be giving you all the details about the daycare facilities in Canada, the types of care, the daily schedules, the vacations, etc. So without any delay, let's begin. Now let's take a look at the types of childcare. One of the childcare available is the licensed childcare centers. These facilities include full daycare, extended hours care, nursery schools, before and after school care. Another type of care that is available is licensed home childcare. These are people who are licensed to take care of your child at your home, like the nannies, or to a group of kids in a residential building or society. Let's take a look at the licensed childcare centers in detail. The licensed childcare centers are government regulated and inspected centers. The Ministry of Education regularly inspects these centers to ensure that they meet the provincial health, safety and developmental standards. The staff at these centers must possess the required qualifications as set out by the childcare laws. The center should also meet all the standards as per the law. The activities at these centers are designed for the child at various stages of development. Another benefit is that you will be eligible to receive childcare fee subsidies if your income falls within a particular limit. I will soon be making a detailed video on the childcare fee subsidies. The children at these centers are grouped into 5 categories. First is the infants, children who are younger than 18 months of age. Next is the toddlers, 18 months to 30 months of age. Next is the preschoolers, 30 months to 4 years. Next is the kindergarten students, 4 years to roughly about 7 years. And lastly, we have the primary or the junior school age children, that is 7 years to about 13 years. Now let's take a look at the staff to child ratio. The staff to child ratio in an infant room is 3:10, that is 3 teachers for 10 children, and you can have a maximum of only 10 children in a room. For the toddlers, the ratio is 1:5 with a maximum of 15 children in a room. For the preschoolers, the ratio is 1:8 with a maximum of 24 children in a room. For kindergarten, the ratio is 1:13 with a maximum of 26 children in a room, and finally, for the school-aged children, it is 1:15 with a maximum of 30 children in a room. Now, let me tell you about some of the staffing requirements at these centers. One of the requirements is that a criminal reference check be done, including vulnerable sector screening, which they must update every 5 years. The next requirement is that all staff who are counted as a part of the staff to child ratio should have a valid standard first aid certification, including the infant and child cardiopulmonary resuscitation, that is the infant and child CPR. At least one first aid trained employee must be available always on site and close enough to the children so that they are able to respond in case of an emergency. Next requirement for every licensed childcare center is that they must maintain the staff to child ratios at any point of time in the center. They can choose to have more staff but never less staff. Another requirement is that at least one staff member per group of children should have a 2-year diploma in early childhood education from an approved college, that is an Ontario College of Applied Arts and Technology or its equivalent. So this will give us as parents a level of comfort on the safety of our kids. Now let's take a look at their daily schedule. The schedule I'm going to be telling you right now is a general schedule and it could vary based on center to center. Most of the childcare centers open as early as 6 or 6:30 in the morning and child intake starts from 7 a.m. 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. is the breakfast time. If you've already provided your child with the breakfast, you can choose to drop your child off anytime before 8:30 in the morning. 8:30 to 9 is a washroom time and dress up time for the outdoor play, which is at 9 a.m. 9 to 10 in the morning is an outdoor play time. 10 to 10:45 is back to class, washroom as well as a snack time. 10:45 to 12:15 is the session time. This will involve activities as well as learning. 12:15 to 1:15 is the lunch hour. Roughly about 1:15 to 2:30, the children are allowed to sleep. So for children who are not interested in sleeping, they can always do some activities and the staff will be there around to support the children. 2:30 to 3 is a snack time again. And 3 to 4 is a session time, which will involve learning as well as activities. 4 to 5 is an outdoor playtime. You can choose to pick your child up anytime after 5 p.m. up to 6 p.m. If you choose to pick your child up after 6 p.m., which they generally do not encourage, then late fees applies and it is very expensive. For the first 5 minutes after 6, a $10 charge is applied, and for every additional minute after the first 5 minutes, the center could charge you anywhere between $2 to $5. The only exception to the schedule that I told you earlier is for the infants. Each infant follow their own sleep as well as feeding schedules. All children who receive care for 6 hours or more in a single day should spend at least 2 hours outside, weather permitting, unless a doctor advises otherwise in writing. Even in winters, this playtime is mandated unless the temperature drops to minus 15 degrees Celsius or minus 20 degrees Celsius and there are weather warnings in place. So it is very important for you to layer your kids and also provide them with quality winter wear so that they are protected while they play in the snow. The only exception to this outdoor playtime rule is for the infants. They are taken for a stroll in the center's stroller instead of letting them play in the snow. For school-aged children, the center generally provides for the school drop and pickup facility to the schools in the same locality. To avail this facility, you will have to drop your child off to the daycare at a specified time, which is generally between 8 and 8:30 in the morning, depending on your kid's breakfast. If you prefer your child to have breakfast at the center, you will have to drop them off as early as 8 in the morning. Most public schools in Ontario open up at 8:40 in the morning. So the children are dropped off to the school at 8:40 and they are picked up when the school leaves at 3 p.m. Then the regular schedule of fresh up time and snack time up to 4 p.m. and the outdoor play time from 4 to 5 p.m. as well as the rest of the schedule continues. Public schools in Ontario have a specific holiday known as the PD days. These are professional development or reorganization days at school. The children will not have classes on these days. The daycare centers are open on these days and let the children be with them for the entire day. If you have enrolled your child for the full program at the center, then the PD days are covered in it. Else, you will have to avail this facility at an extra cost and is dependent on the availability. The center could charge you anywhere between $50 to 150 Canadian dollars. There are specific holiday camps that are organized by these centers based on the school holidays. The school holidays would be a winter break that is about 10 days in December during Christmas, a March break a week in the third week of March, and the summer holidays, which is July and August, that is after the school year. You will have to register upfront for these programs and it comes at an extra cost. If you have registered your child for the full program, then the additional cost for these camps will be nominal. Now for what you would need to provide. You will have to provide the center with diapers, diapering creams, wipes and winter wear such as the caps, snow pants, jackets as well as the boots. Cribs for infants and bedding requirements for all age group are provided by the center. However, you can provide additional blankets for your child's comfort. Food schedule is generally prepared by the nutritionist and is based on the age. Infants are provided with baby food and milk. You can choose to provide home food to your child, but this comes with certain restrictions and declarations. For example, the food that you give should not contain any nuts or any other items that causes allergy or discomfort to any other kid in the group. You may also choose to provide formula milk or breast milk in labeled bottles for your infant. Most childcare centers do not encourage home food being given regularly. The childcare centers also administers medicines when in need. For example, the child is down with fever and to return to daycare, the child must be asymptomatic, that is negative of any symptoms for 24 hours before the time that you drop the child off to the daycare. But the medicine schedule is for 7 days. In such a scenario, the childcare centers will administer the child with these medications during the time the child is under their care. Along with the medicine, you will have to provide them with a declaration stating the timing, dosage, specific instructions, the manufacturing date and the expiry date of the medication. The medication that you provide them with should have a label and the manufacturing and expiry dates must be clearly visible. This declaration must be mandatorily accompanied with a doctor's note. No medications will be given after the time specified in the doctor's note or of any other brand. Like for example, Tylenol is given for kids for fever in Canada, which is the paracetamol drops. So instead of this, if you give them with Crocin drops or of any other brand, these medicines will not be given. The child's naps, diaper changes or the washroom time, interest, activities and any other observations are documented every day in a chart, and these information are available for you real time on the center's app. In case of any emergencies or any discomfort for the child, the parents are intimated immediately. The activities at these centers include a variety of motor, creative, music, sensory and language experiences. For toddlers, it includes physical activity, music and movement, arts, science, nature, sensory experience and language. Toddlers can choose the activities that interest them and spend time playing either individually or in groups. For preschoolers, the activities include arts, science, nature and computer activities. Large groups focuses on music and movement, while small groups are dedicated for developing literacy, language, numeracy and science. The next type of childcare is home-based childcare. Now, home-based childcare are of two types. One is a childcare provider who is overseen by a licensed agency, and the next is unlicensed home childcare. A childcare provider who is overseen by a licensed agency can care for up to 6 children under the age of 13, and a childcare provider who is unlicensed can care for up to 5 children under the age of 13. These childcare providers must count their own children if they are under 4 years old and can care for up to 3 children who are below 2 years old. Unlicensed childcare providers cannot operate in more than one location, and they must provide you in writing, either hard copy or electronically, that they are unlicensed. The communication must clearly state that this facility is not licensed by the Government of Ontario. For sure, these facilities come with an affordable cost and flexibility, but God forbid something happens to your child at their premises, you will not receive any support or intervention from the government. Both of these childcare providers should provide you with a receipt for payment of services if you request them, without charging you a fee, subject to some exceptions. And they must also provide you with the access to the premises and your child. Another type of care is the before and after school care, PLUSP, for example. These care are for the school-going children and are run in schools. The classrooms are converted into childcare centers and they have specific staff monitoring the kids. When it is time for the regular school, the children are handed over to their respective teachers and they are handed back to the PLUSP teacher at the end of the school. Overall, the kids remain in the premises of the school before and after school. They only switch classrooms. The teachers are provided with a list of students who return home with their parents or grandparents and a list of students who move to these care centers. Please note that not all schools have PLUSP program and not all PLUSP programs have both before and after school care. Also, certain PLUSP programs do not have PD daycare. However, the PLUSP program is more affordable comparatively to the licensed daycare center. Every public school has a boundary set, and if you reside within the boundaries, you will have to put your child to that school. So look out for what works best for you. Like if your daycare provider does not provide for a drop-off or pick-up facility from the school, then you will have to run around to pick and drop your child off at the specific times. Overall, based on my personal experience, I would say that the daycare centers are more regulated and constantly monitored in Canada, and the children enjoy their day being at these regulated centers or PLUSP. Mind you, infections such as pink eye, common cold or cough, fever, etc. are an inevitable part of any child going into these daycares, especially the toddlers and the infants, and eventually they will get immune to it. If you have any questions or queries about the childcare facilities in Ontario, please feel free to drop a comment in the comment box below or write to me at askcanadavoyage@gmail.com. I hope you have subscribed to my channel. If you haven't yet, please do subscribe and hit the bell icon. I will see you soon in my next video. Until then, take care and bye.